On hard drive, one of the most time-consuming things we do is to prepare for segments. Well, this series of segments is taking something like 30 years to prepare for. It's all about my best friend and a certain Camaro, a 68 Z28, which you see here. It has been a metaphor for my life as a car guy. It really has been a legacy, man, and we're still doing it.
I know. I was just thinking, I can't believe that, that this is the same car that we were crawling around in the little single car garage at my mother's house, 30-something years ago, when we first had it.
Well, we're dragging it out again after about a 10-year hiatus. Folks from year one provide us with a lot of parts to get this car finished about 10 years ago. And I want to still thank Keith Manny for that. We finally got it done. But up until that 10-year period, this car was an active track car and played a part of our lives virtually every summer.
That's right. The thing for us in those days was always, it wasn't about numbers match restorations and stuff. It was about, this was a 1968 Z28, a car that we kind of thought might have been pretty much the spiritual successor, if not the brand successor.
10 years is a long time for a car to sit. You and I have been pretty much right through this car from stem to stern again.
The car ended up, as happens, in a car guy's life, this car guy's life anyway.
Mine too.
Things take over. Family life takes over, business takes over, career issues take over, and things get put on the back burner. But the point is that these cars, if there was ever a car built to be modified, it was the first generation Z28s.
Okay, let's talk about modifications. I mean, the list is almost too long to mention on a television show, but let's start with the engine. John Rossiter has built us another engine.
Yeah, built us another engine, freshened it up. This engine never blown up. It's been absolutely stone reliable. We could always count on the engine. It's a 7,500 RPM. 302 that dynos somewhere in the range of 420, 430 horsepower consistently. The typical solid lifter, fairly radical camshaft, pretty lumpy at idle. It's a dual 4-barrel cross ram.
Mated with a Muncie, which Harry Manovich breathed on for us.
Yeah, it's a genuine Muncie M22, the real rock crusher. It's a reliable 4-speed, the 12-bolt rear end, the Chevrolet's heavy-duty rear end with limited slip. Again, Harry Manovich leaned on that for us and made it work. Now this whole 4-wheel disc brake setup, unusual, really unusual at the time, much more European than American.
You and I went up to a shop called Stingray to obtain the JL8 brake packet. Turns out the same guy at Stingray, Brian, is the guy that we found again to freshen up the calipers after they sat for 10 years. And he truly is an enthusiast.
These calipers, man, oh man, they've been around since like '65, and they last were in production in 1982. That's a long time, for a proven brake system. I'll put this up against a lot of the other ones. Hey, listen, these 4 pistons, now General Motors is finally putting the 6-piston calipers on the cars. I mean, it's the same idea, rather than having that one piston squeezing against and sliding across, and what is that? This is the way to go.
Imagine us going through a thrash on this car.
Yeah, and for an auto show, so it can sit on a carpet for 10 days.
Yeah, we were used to the thrash. It was always like every second weekend at the track, but getting it ready for a display in an auto show, that was a whole different thing.
Certainly, virtually every system on the car needed to be gone through. Now, the engine was fresh, transmission was fresh, the rear end was fresh, but they had sat for 10 years, so they had to be gone through. I think our biggest advantage was old Jim and the exhaust system. He fabricated something that's truly unique.
Yeah, that was brilliant. We needed a home for this car, a facility where we could pull this together. We knew it was going to be a demanding task, and the guys at that Midas Muffler shop out in Oakville, Ontario, stepped right up, made a hoist available to us for the duration, and old Jim, their exhaust specialist, stepped in and completely redid our exhaust system for us. I mean, those guys were remarkable. And then, since then, our friends at JRP have stepped up and, allowed us to use their shop to come closer to completing the car. And now, Brian from Stingray on board to help us get this thing ready for the track. So, it's great when you get people stepping up to a project like this, it just makes you feel that somehow it's worthwhile.
We're far from done with this Camaro. Join us next week while we take the final steps of getting it ready for the Canadian International Auto Show.